Let's go. Let's go. Boy, it's been an interesting day. Welcome back to the channel. This is Monday, June 5th. Q&A. I think I might put that on there. Monday, June 5th. Put the date Q&A, MBE Q&A, and then put the date in case they want to go back and find it, reference it for something. Somebody might ask a question and they can remember the date so they'll know exactly what Q&A to go back to. So that's what we're going to do. We're doing it for like 30, 40 minutes. We're going to call the MBE Enclosure. What's up, man? What's up? MBEnclosures, and the date. So what I was just saying, we're gonna start calling these MBE Monday through Friday Q&As. We're gonna call the MBE Q&A, and we'll have the day's date. This right here is MBE available for free questions. Everyone's good, man. Everything's good. Antonio Kinsey. What's up? What's up, MB? What's up? What's up, man? What's happening, y'all? I'm just here for all questions. Man, you want to turn that fan on? Ain't it warm here? What's up? How y'all like that new surround revision on the DD25A? Okay. Do you have a favorite test song? A lot of her. I've been putting up 25AG for the last week. It's pretty damn so. I bet it is, man. It is. I'm finna sit mine in Blake and have Jack. I'm finna sit in my two what's up, Frank? I'm finna sit in my two supercharge and have them revamp them to the new uh 25G, bigger surround and bigger spider. I'm sure that by incorporating the bigger surround and the bigger spider and using it on our already strong motor, especially with the my youngest want to go play, especially with the all right, but especially with the already strong motor structure they have and the amount of supercharge. So I was talking to Josh today. In fact, I was talking with Josh Langford about an hour and a half ago, and we was talking about things that he's what the market is dictating and his answer. Now the current revisions was already. It's not really like he responding to the G7 and say, "Hey, let me do this because they did that." These revisions were already in place. We've been talking about this for the last at least 4 months, 4 to 6 months. I know we was talking about this last year. Was it last year? December? Yeah, somebody last year. He was finalizing it this year and said it was done. And what he had actually did was to keep the same cone area. Baby, can you hand me that sub right there? Let me stay on this camera. I want now that one. Not put that one right there. That's the F. That's the F. Let me see. Come on, boy. That big old boot on that boy. Yeah, thank you, Blake. This revision has been in the works for a while, a long time, a lot longer than the release of the G7. Even before that, he was already doing that. So what was discussed and brought to my attention was this: most manufacturers you see, most companies when they making their cone bigger, doing something to their driver, you see a lot of woofers coming out with very, very large surrounds, right? Because that's the market trend these days. Big surrounds, big surrounds. I was so happy to see the G7 when he came out that he did not use that fat surround. He gave you cones. Always giving you cones. Two different schools of thought in this. The marketing trend, based on those in the market who came out with a product that was trying to set themselves apart from others, was using the big fat roll surrounds for more X Max. X Max come to play. It is significant. It is a use in SPL. But let me tell you when your X Max comes into play. Above and below tuning. The closer you get to tuning, the less your woofer is going to move. The greater X Max below tuning, the greater X Max below tuning helps you get more of a response and dig lower because any woofer is going to play below tuning. How they do it is going to be based on the QMS, these two, the QES, what's happening in the gap, and then it's overall, average of that. So, which is the QTS. The trend today is focused on y'all want to see woofers do a whole lot of movement. I want you to keep this in mind. When you use a lot of surround, yes, you're going to get a lot of X-Max. Yes, you are going to get a lot of X-Max. Above tuning and below tuning. Now, as the woofer goes up and higher in frequencies, X-Max is not going to be that much of a, because most subwoofers are going to stop at about 150. The way the core is designed, it's not going to have any kind, it's not going to respond to higher frequencies. So the X-Max is not really going to come into play. Right around 80 at the top, the X-Max is going to start to taper off. And the woofers start becoming non-responsive because the frequency is getting higher, and it's a sub frequency woofers. Now, with that being said, with y'all focus on the big surrounds and X Max, let me tell you something that yes, it will excel in the lows because of below tuning. Particularly those of you like to tune y'all Enclosures 38, 40 and play below tuning, get a lot of movement out of it, which will give you floating stuff and all that, this, that, and other. Okay, now the caveat is that with the big surround, as the woofer moves forward, you get to count some of the surround as your cone because it is impacting the air. But as the woofer moves forward, the surround is extending, and now you're only going to have the SD of the cone moving the air, will continuously move in the air. And that SD is going to, that speaker diaphragm, the cone area is going to shrink as the woofer goes forward. It's going to shrink because the cone is getting extended. Same thing when it gets the other way. As the woofer goes inside the basket, the cone area is diminishing as well. So you're going to roughly get an average of what you had at starting point, this point here. Joshua believes in cone area and X-Max. And some people are fudging the X-Max numbers as well because they're using the big surrounds. As I say, oh yeah, it'll move a whole lot forward. And you looking and y'all see it moving on video and say, oh yeah, it's getting down. Not realizing that you got to count both ways. So that what you see here is not one way direction from a starting point to bottom. You look at that words moving and you say, oh, look how far it's traveling. You got to cut that in half. It's going both ways. And that's how you see that stretch out. Whatever you see cut it in half, it's going to wind up being somewhere around an inch, inch and a quarter with these 8-inch drivers. Inch and a quarter is pretty high. And now most of the time you get to inch and a quarter, now you're going into what was X Max. Inch and a quarter both ways is high. That going to equal to 2.5 inches peak to peak. That's a lot for 8-inch driver. You definitely need mechanical. For the most part, 1.5, 1.5, 1.25, both ways, which equal to like 19, 20 millimeters excursion, 0.68, 0.75 one way, which would be 1.5 both ways. Now, Joshua believes in keeping this, the SD, as big as possible, no matter what the surround is doing as you go up. That's why he lists his SD on his cone. The piston is always going to be 7 inches. At his peak and in his bottom, he's going to have the most cone area than any other 8 out there. This much air is being moved at all times. Period. Period. He is counting, well, he's counting half of his surroundings, gives him 7. The actual cone here inside, this area that's not going to change, is 6 inches. That's the most cone area of any 8-inch in production today. The most cone area of any 8-inch in production today is the DD. At the top of his stroke, it's going to have a 6-inch piston. At its bottom of his stroke, it's going to have a 6-inch piston. Let me give you an example of a woofer who doesn't have a 6-inch. You see, it's 6 inches. Baby, hand me that measuring tape right there. Now, see if y'all can see that. Tilt this down for you and give y'all education level here. As you can see, the inside, just the inside, I'm not counting half of the surround. I'm not going here and counting here, which is 7. I'm going inside, which is 6. Make sure y'all can see that. Maybe turn around this way so you can see that. Which is 6. Come on. Right. Which is 6 inches. That's the greatest all 8 inches out there. Now, with the new surround, it's bigger, it's taller, it's wider, and the ribs changed. Did he keep this same? Yes, he did. Maybe you hand me that one. You hand me that one right there. Yeah, that one right there. The old revision, 2508. Now this is the F. That's the G or the H that I just give it. He said he hadn't decided what moniker he's going to give it, which revision alphabet is going to give it. The inside of the old model, as you can see, is still 6 inches. He still has the most cone area of any 8 in production today. Well, how did he do that? And he made the spider. Well, how did he do that? And he made the spider bigger, taller, and wider, as I showed y'all on the video. Well, because come here, baby boy. Because DD is a brand that makes itself by hand, like DC Audio as well, and we'll get on that. We'll touch on that today. My thoughts on the M4. Some more thoughts on the M4. What I was going to say? How did he keep the same and he made it bigger? As you can see, there's a visual. It's definitely a difference between just looking at them. You say, "Oh man, yeah, the other surround, come on, they're heavy, and I don't want to drop because I need to send these in, and these belong to a customer." As you can see the surround difference easy as I hold it. See how I look visually? Oh man, I need to get out of my hand. I think it hurt my wrist. As you can see, this is the new revision. This is the old revision. The surround is wider, thicker. As you can see, the ribs are a whole lot bigger than you are here. So you got even less dimpling over the stroke. Well, how did he keep the piston, the hard surface? How did he still keep it at 6 inches? Well, because chocolate, he manufactures his own sub and has his own pot toy basket. Instead of going in with the surround, Joshua went out. He went back toward the outside of the basket, the outer diameter basket, to give him more width of the surround and still keep his SD the same because it's the basket. And that was, and in fact, with this basket design, I'm gonna let y'all in a little secret. He can do so much with this basket. It's so many more different revisions that he could do with this to stay at the crest of technology, and it would stay that much ahead, even if it's about tenths for those of you compete, than the other 8 inch on the market. Because whether you win by inch or you win by a mile, whether it's 140.1 or 140.2, 140.2 is going to be 140.1. And if he's trying to give you every advantage you can with his woofers, his hand bit woofers especially, he can do even more so. There's other revisions he can do with this basket as the market dictates it. He was going to do this revision before the G7 hit. It just coincided. He was able to see, hey man, I see some it's going to be some production aids coming online that can keep up with the 2508 revision G. He tweaked it just a little bit more by putting this around and then putting this iron. This is the same spider. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, this is. Yeah, here we go. Y'all see the color of that spider and the ribs on it? Yeah, and look at it. That's a good shot right there. That's the same spider that's on the 95 or 9900 subs. I call it ironclad. It's called iron cloth. It takes a whole lot of power. The 25-way revision G, it's really underrated at 800 watts RMS. I think it take 1,000 watts all day, in my opinion. Now, just that because of the coil, but because it's a gorgeous sub. It is gorgeous. This is around. It's nice. I like it so much. I'm going to send my G's in to get this done. And be able to have more power, we can even get more output. Also, I'm going to tell you something else. There's a reason why 10 inches is not selling. Particularly with DD has a problem getting rid of their 10 inches as well. And a lot of manufacturers see that the 10-inch market it's not really moving as it used to, because in that same space as you can put that 10 in, you can put 8s in, and getting so this 25 weight Most other eights, it separates itself. There's only one that can get even remotely close to it. Overall, I'm talking about on all frequencies, not just on low and high. By using this bigger spider, this stiffer spider, you can make the box bigger. Now he already listed at 1.25. I'm getting my score and they playing at 1.5. He said Ace only do 130 dB. His dude here must be a Johnny come lucky. He don't know what I do with Ace. So you can make it play an even bigger box. Some of you are saying, why would you want to put an 8 in the box 1.5 in it, 1.75? You can just use 10-inch sub. What if the mounting area that you have available for the space you want to use is not 10 inches? What if it's 9 inches? What if it's only 9.5 inches height? You could get possibly 3 cubes on there, but you can cram a bunch of subwoofers and have them use less power and not be able to have that deep resonating bass. But you can't, some woofers, you can't put 2 of them in 3 cubes. Well, the 8 particularly, let's look at the truck setup for real. Setup in most places. With a 2.5-inch seat lift, you're gonna get a 10.5-inch lift in the front and 7 in the back. Well, you can put a 10 in there. Yeah, you can put some entry level 10s in there with very, very small magnets. Not no heavy duty 10s. You got to put something like an entry level, very small magnet, because of the slope of the box. Baby, oh, shoot. Mm. Take that off. Take that off. Having one of those truck boxes thing. Because of the slope of the box, SA10 won't fit. Now you need to get a 3.5-inch seat lift because you can't. Well, 10.5 inches. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold up. With 10.5 inches, you can put a 10 there. Yeah, you possibly could if you can say 10.5 inches throughout. Issue is you can't say you cannot stay 10.5 inches throughout. Here's a visual cut out side of a truck box. Let's say this is 10.5 inches. Or you can put a 10 right there with 10.5 inches. Yeah, how? When you got a slope here, the magnet of say a SA10 or X10 or something like that, but let's say a SA10 or a Scar DDX10 or a CT Sounds Mezio 10, the magnet would hit. You have the correct height up front, but it's lessened as you go to the back. The magnet's going to hit somewhere along here. That's where the Super 8s come in. So you say you got 3.5 cubes, you can put 2 10s there. Yeah, but you can't fit it because of the mountain height. But there's 8s out there that can play in 3.5 cubes and ride with the output of some 10s, even though Conairs came. And one of those 8s is the Digital Design 2508. So if I put in that larger spider, that iron cloth spider, and that larger surround on it, he's able to get a better use of the space and play in that volume and get the resonation that's needed. I'm giving y'all figures here. This is what makes sense. This is why I recommend 2/8 setups. At the most, 4 of y'all just looking for SPI output. But if you want to sound the best, 2 of them 2508s or even the others that I named can play in that size box. I can get you almost 3 Qs up under that seat net. And you can put 2 of these 8s in and shock the world. My boy in Atlanta, Georgia, he might tell you what we did with 2 kicker 8s in the truck setup. 139.7 at 35 hertz on 1200 watts. So that's why people, whether you run 8s or not, everybody's coming out with 8s because there's a better utilization of small space where you don't have the room to put don't have the overall mounting for a larger subwoofer to fit. You might have 9.5 inches under, but you can get 3, sometimes 4 cubes in there. Well, what woofer would do the best? Now you're talking about a Super 8. You get incredible results. So I'm excited. I'm waiting for Jack. Jack, if you're watching, send me my RJM number so I can go ahead and send my superchargers in and see just how much more output control we'll be able to get once they break in. Because you want to see something? Okay. This is a regular DD. It's fairly, as you can see, fairly broke in. I'm moving it fairly well. It's fairly broken. Still not still, but it's enough. They have a very long life on their spider. Now watch this. This is the new iron claw spider. I'm holding it the same way. Caveat to this: bad side, it's gonna take a long time to break it in. Good side, take a lot of power. Put it in a big box. Bigger resonation. Bigger resonation, bigger port, more output. More output. I'm excited about what he did with that. And that's just what he was gonna do anyway. Anticipating what other manufacturers were gonna do. Pretty much he anticipated the birth of the G7. Johnson knew it was coming, in my opinion. Just talking to him, he knew it was coming. He knew some other thing that's coming down the road too. But like I said, with that platform, with his 25, with this basket, it's so many other things he could do with this basket. It'll shock you. Right now, they only have a single spider, a dual layer single spider. That landing is big. That landing on the 2508 is big enough for him to even do a space to spiders. Put a space and have two space, like some manufacturers do with the 6-bolt basket. He hasn't even done that yet. He hasn't done this. He hasn't made a top pole piece, a top plate, and then put a spacer between the basket and the top plate, which will allow with how he likes to keep his cone higher than the triple joint, would allow even more greater X-Max with a stronger motor. I know what motor he can use, and we've been talked about that. We're just waiting to see in the industry what others are going to do. But once again, Josh is pushing himself out to the front. Again, some of you going to say, "Oh man, you and DD." Yeah, I'm pointing out facts on that subwoofer. Still got the larger cutout, and now with those two features, we're taking the RMS 1250 easy. The 2508 revision was F was doing that. These two revisions he done put on this G. I can't wait to get mine rebuilt. And then something else was happening immediately after that this year. I think he's doing that on the house. Because I think these two revisions right here should help him hold his own against something like the G7, especially when you supercharge it. When you supercharge one of them 2508s, it's a horse of a whole nother color. I'm anticipating when he send me these two back, at least a dB increase with the power I have to give. Some people will have even greater results with what they're trying to do with their system. With the power I have to give, I'm looking at 140, 141 at 30 hertz, or even I think if the DC Auto M4 doesn't take it down, you're gonna take down that 29 hertz monster. Both of them been running from that 29 hertz monster. Everybody has been running from that 29 hertz monster. So that's enough talking about that. Well, what's going up with DC M4? Woo, low end killer. They getting deeper by the hour. Today they did a 139. What I told you about 139.78? No, 138.7. They did 138.7 at 31 hertz. So that's 6 days out the box. Yesterday they did a 138.28. Today, this morning, they did a 138.7. So it's getting even looser. Yesterday inside the Leviathan. It did at 31 hertz. I can see that it's getting loose. The suspension starting to loose up. I'm waiting for it to get fully broken in. I want to see how it does with its higher frequency transition. To me, and I asked Rusty about this, and this is what, if you look at what she said with the M4, he said customers were asking from DC for a woofer that pounds the lows. There's a lot of comments. Everybody just watching. They listening to me. That's what I figured. His customers were asking for a woofer that pounds the lows and can take more power. I will say check mark to Rusty with his M4 on that. It pounds the lows. It's going to. I'm wondering if it will make me have to eat this shoe. Because I've been telling y'all for years, Well, not for years. Well, those y'all been knowing me 2014, yeah. But I've been telling y'all on this channel, this cone area is king. And that the DD and the G7 have the largest cutout than the rest of them that's on the production today. And the DD with his 8-inch cutout, Godzilla and King Kong been fighting. Well, lo and behold, Rusty say, NB, shut up. I'm finna prove you out to be a lie. The M4 has 29 square inches of cone area. That's sizable less than the DD, which has 30, and sizable less than the G7, which has 35. And yet, and still, he's 138.7 and 138.28. And I'm listening, and I'm not doing test tones. Remember, to be crowned a king, I had to find a song where you can do a 140 on music. So you're gonna number one play in this 3Q box, which I think is you got to have the suspension or the QES to handle that. Two, uh, you must do a 140 below 35 hertz to even be crowned a king. That's a high bar. Most of them, you know what? I'm not even gonna say 35 no more because everybody been doing it 33 and under. Kicker did it 33, or less power than everybody. But 33 hertz. You must do a 140 at 33 and under. I don't care how much power you take, but you must do 140 dB at 33 hertz and under. The champions, all those who can hit it, the DB and the G7, the DD and the DB. That kind of like a tongue twister. The DB and the DD both did it at 30 hertz. The Rays did it at 31 hertz. The kicker did it at 33 hertz. Okay, and that's at the bar because the bar was 35. So they definitely did it. Nobody has went over 30. Nobody had to do it. Nobody has had to go higher than 133 hertz to do a 140. Let me see what this question is right here. Yeah, that's a high end spider master. So with that being said, nobody has hit that. They have tickled that 29 hertz, but ain't nobody hit that 29 hertz. I'm thinking this M4 might hit the 29 hertz because I've seen 139 at 139.2 at 29 hertz one time. Might have been a fluke, right temperature and everything, but I've seen it one time. Now, remember, what I'm trying to do with these woofers in this large enclosure is stressful. It is hard on the driver. That's why I don't build people these boxes. But I'm taking it to the very limits of the X Mechanical and X Max in this 3Q box. Well, with the G7 and the digital designs, not really, because they can play in boxes roughly that size. 1.5 of them is not big. About average to them. Seriously. Yeah, the G7 tell you 1.4 out the box. So he ain't worried about digital designs. Yes, same thing. They just scoring 1.5, hold up admirably. This woofer right here did a 140 at 30 hertz. Often, a lot. Every time when they hear the DB 2508, it was playing a 3Q box. As you can see, it is fine. It came out the box only to let the DB drive have his shot at trying to beat that 29 hertz motor. It's fine. The suspension is not super. Look at this. This is the woofer that did it. These two here, you can see it's not tore up at all. This surround is intact. This woofer is intact. Pristine coils. This is the one. And his brother over there. Now, that 29 hertz monster has been eluding everybody. Everybody did 139 point something like that. Maybe I tune the box lower, they do it. But I want to tune the box to 33 because I think that's the most musical box for the music I listen to. At tuning at 33, I can dig low and I can go high. What I'm noticing with the M4, and maybe because it needs to break in some more, it's still pretty stiff. 5 days out the box. Nobody did a 145 days out the box. All of them was around this 138, 139 number. Then after about a month, close to a month, they loose. And it's gonna hit the 140. So DB, the M4, he's got time to get that king title. Now you're gonna ask me then, well, if it's a king title, where's his weaknesses at? Because every woofer has his weakness. The G7 and the digital design, I think their weakness is I don't like to put them in small boxes. I really don't. Because of their added cone area and just what they like to do, why build the heat up? Why put 4 when you can put 2 and sound a whole lot better? The weakness that I think with the M4 is, and this is an easy fix for Rusty, just increase the cone area. Give it the same. Man, my allergies messed up. I need to get my nasal cord. Give it the same tall, narrow surround as you see DB and DD do, or leave that as an option, Rusty. Just have it as an option, like you do the AR cones. But that's the choice, because this is his product. I love it. I really believe it's going to kick the king status. But to be more balanced overall, I think we need to, I think, my opinion, increase more. Give it the cone area of the M3. Give the cone area the M3 with that larger spider. Because I've showed y'all in the video, the M4 and the M3, they look the same, but the M4 basket, even though it's styled after the M3, the spider is bigger. The cutout's the same, but the spider's bigger. So if he was to increase that cone area, give it the tall, narrow surround, as he see Joshua doing, and baby, you're having King Kong. I got you doing the work over here though. Hand me King Kong. That's Godzilla right there. Godzilla came out with them atomic spikes. King Kong and Godzilla. I thought maybe the DC is gonna be like Mothra. As you can see, this tall, narrow surround is favored by MB. Enables me to keep my cone area and still keep my stroke. Now I'm gonna tell you the caveat to this against the M4. The M4 has these drivers, him and the 2508 are balanced. Make sure I get this. Don't you fall, boy. You're gonna fall right there. These woofers are balanced, meaning that they play the lows and the highs equally. The M4, in my opinion, it's scary how close when he break in, he might hit that 29 hertz at 140 dB. Because I'm listening to him, just my experience of listening to him in these 8s. Y'all know I like to play with these 8-inch subwoofers. He killing these lows. Rusty's goal of, if you listen to decaf music, EBM, just straight, I'm talking about anything 40 and under. That's all you want to do. That M4 is a beast. That joker love. I'm talking about, man, pressure in your ear. Fire these out the box. Love the lows. Now I want to see how much pressure you can generate with it. Sounds wonderful. But you gotta get that 140. Now, with that being said, if he was to knock down a 29 hertz monster, would that make him king of raw? The G7 and the 25.8 are more overall performance. Mid and high with the same emphasis. Still strong emphasis, but maybe not totally geared toward that. So that toward just one end of the bass wave spectrum. So it depends what you're looking for, because everybody's tastes are different. That's why there's no such thing as the best subwoofer. Even with the two that I named, two of my favorites. So with that, and also and I think it's really because of the surround and the inside. That's why you say, Crit, you said, what about the G7 don't come to 10 inch? The 10 inch market, man, with a lot of manufacturers, they don't move as much as you think they do. I don't know why people don't like 10 inches. I mean, I can use 10 inch in the mega cab. I just can't optimize it like I can an 8 inch. And I guess I thought the novice is 8 and surprising people with them. But 10 inches don't move as much as 12 inches. You know, 8s are nowadays moving more than 10s. That's why some manufacturers coming out with 12, 15, 18 and coming out with 8. RDS Audio, he came out with an 8.5 and a 6. He ain't even got a 10 and 12. He came out with 8.5 and 6. His first foray, he came RDS Audio. They on the channel. He came out with a 6.5 and 8-inch subwoofer. He might skip the 10. These companies, this is the business side. G7 is actually looking at. I got this. We don't sell a lot of G510. We should. I didn't have one on the channel. We should. I think there's a niche for them. But if people like myself and shops are not pushing them, and I know I'm creating a wave, and others are creating a wave with these 8-inch subwoofers, The 10 inch is getting looked over. So that's why the G7 said there's no sense in putting something, investing in something that and casting the basket and we'll be sitting on them forever. The Kicker Q Class 8 that's discontinued. I think you can still find Q Class 10s. You cannot find a Q Class 8. You can still find a Q Class 10. You can't find a Q Class 8. That should tell you something about how strong this 8-inch game is and how serious these manufacturers are taking it. Particularly with these cars, people want a big base, smaller enclosures. The eights the way to go. Even though people putting eights in, like myself, in 1.5, you can put a 10 in there. But we'll see. Now, from your experience, when they break in, is that when you dial the game down? When you hit some distortion? No, no, no. I don't know. No, you ain't got to touch. Once you set the amp, you never got to set the amp ever again. Now, where you get that from, Master? Once the amp is set, Miles Bassett, once the amp is set with a multimeter, there's no reason for me to set the amplifier again. While I'm breaking it in, I ain't moving my gain, so I don't know what you're talking about. The gain is set to deliver full power. When I turn the volume up and turn my remote gain all the way, the amp is set. Right now, I just can't turn the amp all the way. I'm not messing with the gain. my bass knob is just taking me to and from where my amp is set at the gain setting that's matched to my head unit. That's all my remote gain is taking me to that point or below that point. Breaking is just you not giving the full power. Once you set your amp, you should never touch your amp again. I don't care what subs you put in there. Use your remote gain, or as some people call it, bass knob. And the reason why they call it bass knob because as you turn it, the bass goes up and down. Well, the reason why the bass goes up and down is because you're controlling the power. That's it. Just being played to it. 8s and 10s are my favorite size of subs. I ran them back in the day, and people was always impressed how much time they put out. Well, you ought to try today because M4 versus Black Brick. That's 15. Don't know about 8s. Yeah, well, I don't even know why you said that, Dennis Chisholm Senior. Because Conair is king, of course. But what if the person got a vehicle where he can't put a 15? What do you want him to do then? You thought about that part? I know you love your subwoofer, but everybody can't run 15. What's a good port area for a single sundown X3, 16 square inches? Yes, sir. I had to learn 2/8. The ones you pick in your truck, those are big bad monster. Atlanta, Georgia. That's my boy. That's the one who tests. No, Atlanta, Georgia, and my people. For all you, not only I got Jesus watching out for me, I got a street team out there too. You better be careful. Get them boys out there see about them MBE. Anyway, he the one that tests my truck enclosure, and he knows what he took two kickers on a J Audio HD 1200 and did a 139.7 to 35 hertz in one of my underseat truck enclosures. So that's how loud they can be if you focus on why you say doing two, because two gonna get loud. 139.7 and 140 that I'm doing in my truck in the mega cab. You can't hear the difference of them trucks side by side. Only thing you're gonna see is my truck is deeper because I hit it at 30 hertz and he only can do it at 35. And that's because of the alignment. His subwoofers are facing down, playing to a seat. Mine are facing up and traveling over and hitting us around. So that's just tricks with Webcon. Okay. Trust me, I got a pair of 15 in my Challenger in fourth order on a DDM 2000. I can feel my hair move. You can. You got them in the fourth order. You can get up to 10 dB in the fourth order. I mean, you really just focusing narrow frequency, narrow bandwidth, but a whole lot of pressure within that bandwidth. What I'm about to do now is single 15 use. Here we go talking about this boy here. Some people here they just love. We talking about 8s right now. You talking about 15? what is what's up? And ain't nobody responding to him. I wouldn't read the comment. Nobody know what the hell he's talking about. Okay. Do you make an episode and go from do do making my episode and go from 5 volts to 7.5 give it a better sound? It gives what it does when you increase that voltage in the epicenter. What you're actually doing is making your noise. You eliminate the possibility of noise getting into your system, so it sounds more impactful. Now, if you do that, you're gonna have to reset your gain on your amp because now you got a different signal going into the amp. Every time you increase the signal going into the amp, your gain is gonna go this way. The lower the voltage of the signal going in, the more your gain gonna have to go up to match it. Gain, match. The higher your signal going in, the less you're gonna have to use your gain. The less you use your gain, the longer your equipment's gonna last and the more impactful your sound. Because now instead you're not having to match the signal and produce the power, it's having to just match the signal. I mean just produce the power. Much better. Is it better to send those subs in for the revised bill or sell those and buy new? I've seen a guy pay big money to upgrade his old film to the new revisions. I'm finna send my old revisions into the new. And that's the thing about having a DD sub, a hand-built driver. No matter what nobody tells you, you can get far better for cheaper. With the hand-built drivers, there's two things you can do. Number one thing is that one thing is like for DD, he was already finna do the revision before the G7 came out. But there's another revision coming out in July and August that's gonna make it even stronger than he is now. He can do this on the fly because he got his preparatory basket and his preparatory and his motor structure. So changing the saw parts and making the kids keep tweaking it. And there's so many more things he could do to this same basket. Like I said, he could put a spider between the basket and the top plate if that would give him some kind of performance goal. He could do that. He could put dual space spiders. He could use two iron claw spiders. Probably would move. The FPS would be stupid high. Takes so long for it to break in, y'all would deem it a bad sub. When actuality it's just like that subwoofer. It's gonna take some time to break that joke in. It's gonna move, but it's gonna take some time to really get that to loosen up. But he designed it so you can throw whatever power you want to throw to it within reason. And you're not gonna break that triple joint. It's not gonna happen. And then because he increased that spider ability to take power and the core and the ability to take that power and move, and then bring it back to rest, he need to increase the spider as well. So with all that being said, there's so many things he can do on the fly with a hand-built driver that people that get their stuff production in China just can't do. So that gives him an advantage. So now people are looking at, okay, I fixed that, he dropped that, he revised it. 4 months later, he back with design, another stronger design. It's gonna be months before you can answer it again. Josh is back on top again. Smart man. You pay a premium price though to get his woofers, but you get something that nobody else has. And that's why they chocolate doo-doo, and that's why I enjoy the relationship I have with Didi. Because it's so easy. I told Josh straight up, hey man, that G7 is a monster. That G7 is a monster. You're gonna have to do something. If you ain't got a supercharge, it's a monster. It's gonna be a fight. Quickly. He very quickly. He already had on the drawing board, and then bam, now it's in. Put him out. He just wants Joshua wants his people to be competitive. He never said he has the best, but he wanted to say no matter what you want to use it for, I'm gonna make sure that my athlete, his subwoofer that he puts to the market, can compete with anybody on any level. Now, oh my bad, MB. What are you always preach? One, what you can afford, right? Expect you can. That means respect the eight. No, you ain't disrespecting eight. I'm just messing with. I know. I'm just messing with you, man. Don't take me, man. Run your 50. I'm just saying we talking about 50. Cone is king. But what I am for, I don't. But Rusty really giving me a headache with this. This thing is with that small 29 square inches of corner. This thing is it's taking 139, 138.7 a day. Because I know by Wednesday it'll probably be a 139.7 at 30 hertz. I'm thinking by Friday it's gonna be right at 140. It should hit a 140 by Friday. And then after that, we're just gonna see how much more as the FS drops and it starts to loosen up. How much further can it go down? If it do a 140 by Friday, that'd be like 10 days out of the box. Now, is it going to stop or can we keep going? Can it tackle that 29 hertz monster? Okay. M4 W7, two total schools of thought. The M4, I'm gonna tell you, the M4 deepness of bass is like the W7. The M4 deepness bass is definitely like the W7. However, the impact I'm gonna give to the M4. They're they're not in the same class. They're not. They're not. The W7 is not in the class. Y'all keep wanting. Everybody wants me to put the W8. W7, the JL W8 in this class, and I'm not because it's not fair to JL. I love JL products. It's not fair to put that sound quality driver in the arena with these gorillas and these King Kongs. It's not. He's sound quality wise. And then you gotta look for a challenge for somebody who's actually talking about like pure sound quality. Then we talking about the J audio. But in this class here, he's just not gonna do it. Yeah, he got the same corner as the DD. He's just not he's limited on power handling. You're not throwing 15, 1200 watts to the JL. Okay, well nobody tell you. JL will tell you that. Nah, the core is gonna unravel if you get 1,000 watts to it. It's not designed for that much output, for that much power. If you want more output, and you need to buy another one, multiple. We don't suggest you put 2,000 watts. I'm sure JL would tell me, do not put no 2,000 watt amp on a GR8W7 and then tell me it's a bad sub because we didn't even get it down that much power. Even if you ain't getting all to the sub, we didn't gear it to handle 1,000 watts RMS. We didn't gear it for that. So if you was to do that and deem it ineffectual, then that would be MB the idiot, not us. Okay? Now, do you know the price on the new DD25Z? Same price as the old. The revisions is the same price. I think it's revision G. He might give a different moniker. I know the old is the F, so I would think the next one is G. But it's the same price. When you do the revisions, it's just that we're having a hand build driver. You have to buy a whole new driver. I think it's like 125 or 150. You send it back, one for the new parts, soft parts to be put in, and the shipping to and from. And you get the new parts put inside your driver. So you have to contact your dealer if you're interested in having that. Send it to the dealer, like in case of me, send it to me. I send it back to DD. They redo it, send it back to you. You pay for the process, you still come out cheaper than buying a whole new driver. As long as they don't change the motor in the basket, they can give you new technology. Match need to come on. I would Match will come on, but he don't think he need the channel to promote his product, which I gotta respect that. I like Matt's products. Just have a different opinion on this. I'm bringing exposure to his channel. Any word when the Solo X10? I just asked about that last week. I have no idea, brother. I have no idea. 500 watts RMS, 200. What 500 DD or L7Q class 10? With 20D608, I don't know, 500 watts. You better not put a DD608 and two Qs on 500 watts. I guess I would do the Q class 10. Trying to run 3K amp to upgrade my electrical, getting a 3 amp bunch truck call for. I don't know what you're talking about. How much for the new revision? Same price as the old, man. Just do a revision. If anyone can get those G7 louds, this UD7, they are loud. What is your qualification of loud? There's a dude. I don't know how true it is. I seen a dude who was last year. The dude was claiming to do 150s with W7s at 25, 26 hertz. Had a video with the screen. I don't know if it was true or not. I personally didn't think it was true, but I wasn't there either. So I just personally don't feel the W7s. Me personally, I don't feel that they're gonna have able to handle the power necessary, that heat build up to make them handle that much pressure. Now if I had four of them or three of them different, but two of them, no, I wouldn't do that to them. And I got a pair. I do have a pair. Let's see. Thoughts on the Kicker 8 compared to the DC Auto M4? Hmm. Hmm. Well, the Q Class A discontinued, so there's really no more thoughts that I can have on that. Other than say both D love the Kicker love the lows, but he needs a little bit more motor structure to start digging real low because of his cone area. But I think the M4 will probably play lower on than the Q Class. The M4H is a beast. Yes, it is. They love the lows. Uh, okay. Well, in third row, subwoofer DCM 38. Oh, you put four in there, I believe. Sub up, put up on that Tahoe. That's that guy's nation. Joe B. Joe B, you could put three M3 See, DD love. Now, mind you, I had the DD, I had the DB, I mean, I had the DC audio. Man, I got three companies I love. All of them start with D. DB, DD, and DC. Okay, the DC, they love small enclosures. So he was making very good bass in that real small enclosure as well, in that one cube box. But mm, I wouldn't put four of these in there. You could, technically, but I wouldn't do it. Thank you for lending those degrees of knowledge you have earned. And just experience to find out what works and don't work. Spaces, okay, Cody Rose says, using the brands DD or DB, only being able to run a single sub. What sub out of all the lineups they offer would you run in the space available at 1.5? With DB drive, I would use the G510 in that 1.5 cube box. With DD, I would use 1.5. I can only use one sub. 2508. Supercharged, hand built with the new revision. Yeah. What did Robert Trundle say? Uh, they say put well, you can tag on people's stuff and put them in timeout. These grown men, they talking about you two talking about put people in timeout. Oh, they for real? You see that? Oh, what is this? Yeah, what they say, but come on, timeout. I didn't even see that's an option up there. They really tell you can't put grown people on no timeout. Just get them off the feed. I don't. It should just say kick off feed, not no timeout. Well, I wish somebody would. If I was watching on the feed, they put me in timeout. When I come back, I said, man, the clowns just put me in timeout. I'm out of here. That's what I'm saying. If I disagree with somebody, I don't. Now I probably wouldn't say nothing. I just be like, look at this dude put me on timeout, and I'd be gone. I don't know. People don't think like I think though, because some of this stuff is just ridiculous, man. Okay, Mr. B, well, what you said earlier, you said 10-inch speakers are dead. It seems the order now is 8, 12, 15. It do. Some manufacturers skipping that 10, man, because they just ain't moving. I was talking to manufacturers today that want to see me some product, and he can't move his 10s. He said, man, I got a boatload of 10s, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. He said, man, you put some of them 10s in the truck and in them Chevys. And depending on what team it is, not going to be entry level. Because you put that big crazy boot and motor on it, ain't fitting under the seat in no truck unless you're gonna get a 3.5 seat lift. Now you just took a 4-door crew cab and made it a single cab, which is stupid. You pay all that extra. You pay 80,000 for your crew cab when you could have paid 40,000 for your single cab. You're gonna pay more and they're only gonna sit two people in it because you got a 3.5 seat lift in the back of your truck to put two $300 tens in there. Boy, you boo boo the fool. You do that, man. I ain't gonna tell you a lot. You boo boo the fool. All right. Okay, here we go. Time out, Blue. Okay. Can I put DB Drive 7 in my 2013 Dodge Challenger? You sure can. You need to get at me. You sure can. I can put two of them in there in the box, the MB box. Slam that challenge. But okay. I'll slam concrete hustler. Get at me, man. If you really want it. If not, don't waste my time. If you ask a question, that's your answer. What SPL range you expect from an undersea truck box with two 25 F-150? Somewhere in the 138, 140. Somewhere around there if you do it right. Especially with my box. I know my undersea truck boxes have the potential to do right at 139. I did it with two kickers. Atlanta, Georgia. My boy Nah, I can tell you that. We did that. 139.7 on 1200 watts on two kickers with the SSA meter. That's why I like the companies that keep their tens in stock. You like tens. The 3Ds. Yeah, you're right, man. And going in on time. Yeah, I had to go in on time. Is it possible to be heard from a block away with 212? Yeah. Yeah. Raise 6 or DD606 small enclosures. About the same. About the same output. All depends on what kind of box you're gonna put in. Of course you can hear 2L7 from a mile away. What are the kings in the 6.5? Oh, thank you, man. More base education. But they keep coming up with the acronyms for MBE. That must be funny, man. More base education. It's just giving y'all something because you can take these same principles and apply it to 10s, 12, 15, whatever you want to apply it to. It's the same principle, man. Don't try to cram a lot of woofers in a small space. Try to utilize the space more effectively, even if it means you need to go down in size so you can get an optimized enclosure. Now, if you're going for SPL purposes and you really going high frequencies, yeah, I guess you cram in there, you just burping anyway. But if you really want to sound good, figure out what your total space is and stay under it, not right at it. Who this makes a hell for a view? Is he going in timeout too? Hey, I was looking what fits the. I can't even read the message. Your thoughts on slightly larger enclosure in Port Air for a new Solar H12 for more impactful loads. Hey man, I don't know if you know this, but Kick and DD, they believe in big box. They don't believe in the small bus scenario. They never tried it. They ain't even interested in it. I know this person talking to Kip and talking to Josh Langford. Same way, Bill Brom, the marketing director over at Kicker, or one of the marketing directors. They don't believe in small boxes. They believe what we believe back in the 90s, which I'm trying to tell you now. It takes space to make bass. I don't care what driver you pick. If you can play in 1 cube, 2 cubes, and 3 cubes, same driver. The 3 cube box is going to be louder than the 2 cube box. The 2 cube box is going to be louder than the 1 cube box. It's physics. Bass is made by the rarefied and compressed air. Whoever moving the most here, however they doing it, it's going to be the loudest. The resonator is bigger the bigger the box. Because all we doing, we're porting the subwoofer, is creating a Helmholtz resonator. Helmholtz resonator. Okay, I'm coming up on 56. This is a long meter, okay. I asked because they recommend 3 cubes. Yeah, that's where they want you to start at. With the Q class, so that what you want to keep at. And let me ask your questions you ask me, Ken, you can ask that here. You can't text me. I don't, but the number that I have is for box bills only, homie. You ask me for a box bill, I can help you. Not box help. I don't have time for that. These Q&As are for to answer your question. Now, you asked the question about 3 cubes with a, no, I think you said 6 cubes with a 10-inch circular port. I'm not sure. 3 cubes, you use a 4 cubes. Let me see. Let me show you my brain locking up right now. Let me give you a little help. So I use 8-inch aerial. So 4 times 4 times 3.14 divided by 8-inch aerial. You can use a 4 cube box. A 10-inch aerial or circular port will have you on using from big ports, big ass ports or whatever. Times. Let me see. Divided by. I like to use. I don't know. Let me keep you with you. I'm gonna keep you in the safe zone. With a 10-inch aerial, you can use a 6 cube box. You doubling the size from 3 to 6. It's 50% larger. They told you to start at 3. They never said you can put it in. Oh no, 3 cubes of 6 is 100% larger. They never seen you go that far. I do not know. I don't have no experience of playing with them that size. I know what the program says. I don't know because I haven't used the program for it yet. I know what the program may say with that size box. My right kicker is one of the companies like with Digital Designs, the rest of them, even with DC. Whatever they pretty much tell you to do, that's what you need to stick with. If you want to go higher than that, remember they said start with 3. I believe I seen a guy on one Facebook thing. He had his in 5 cubes. Andy put his in a slightly big. Andy McGill, he put his in a slightly bigger box too. So you got to see. It just came out. Out of the G5 and 25.8, the 25.8 I have more output than G5 easily. B2 Rage is still holding down. B2 Rampage is still the B2 and Rampage is still a king. And y'all keep talking about it's still a king. Once it attained the 140, anything below 33, it's a king. It's a king. Now what you run is on you. Ain't no pushing and knocking out. There's a spot open out of my 5 kings because they no longer make the kicker Q class. But once you achieve king status, the B2 Rampage is still a king. It's still a king. You can't take away the score it did. You can't take away the kicker score. What it did, what it did. And when I badger the king, it's always the king. The sundown is always the king. This technology is improved upon. Hey man, you know you don't like I know you don't like Scar audio, so don't ask me no question about it. Then you know I don't like it. But oh sorry, but I've had L712 and comps and Sundown U12, Mazasumos, and even more in the Pro. But so far I love the VX the best. That's you. I don't know what kind of box you had, but I hope Scar paying you for that. I don't like Scar. Will they make Kicker Solo X8? I hope so. Also, what about Memphis Audio Mojo subwoofers? I got a plug. I might get one of those just to see what it do. You know, I told y'all about it already. They changed the color scheme, and y'all think it's ooh-wee. The same six-spoke basket. You don't gonna get so much. We gonna see. Marvelous box exclusive. See what I did? Okay. Okay. Marvelous box exclusive. Man, everybody coming up with this stuff. Now, what y'all, Fred Sam? Y'all keep taking my name coming up with marvelous box exclusive. MBE. That's Matthew. This Matthew's second box. Love the guy, man. Okay, it's time for me to go. Oh, 59 minutes. Hey, I'm out here. Been here an hour. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I didn't ask you a question. I ask y'all questions later tomorrow. Make sure y'all catch my daily inspirations in the morning. Just positive feedback. Moving with God. I'll see y'all tomorrow for any more questions. I got 100 on y'all. There's 100 people up here on live feed. Y'all looking forward to these. Every Monday through Friday, either at 6 or 6:30, I'm going to do this live. We can answer questions, do topics, watch the videos I put up for the day, and keep it moving. Peace. Y'all stay positive. And as always, please listen responsibly.